Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to Solving the Witness, a usually laid-back, annotated Let's Play where we try to understand and discover the deeper underlying secrets of Jonathan Blow's The Witness. But I'm a little stressed out today because I am running out of time to get this episode up, so we're going to do this as fast as possible. So quick, let's go to the mailbag. Draken says that the last two episodes I said were skippable were not very skippable, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm glad that you're appreciating these episodes, even though not as much is accomplished. That being said, not a lot is accomplished in this episode. We're going to get an audio clip towards the end, but this is mostly me struggling to get some environmental puzzles, so buckle in. Matthias says we were talking about the bell that plays when the boat comes into the dock, and I kind of put out there, is this implying that this is warning the people waiting for the boat, which would imply that there are multiple people on the island at some point using this boat. Matthias puts forth the theory that this is actually a warning to the player. Since the boat ride can take very long, there's a chance that the player stopped paying attention and is now being told, hey, the boat is stopping. Which I like as a theory because there is so much you're supposed to be paying attention to on the boat. There's a lot of things you can only see and only accomplish from the boat when it's moving. So the idea that there's also something in there because Jonathan Blow and the creators of this game knew that most people would zone out on the boat and would be looking at their phone, like let's include a warning for those people, I think is very entertaining. So I like that theory. And finally, Pedro brings up that he does not believe that the windmill means anything, but we'll wait till I bring forth my data. I'm still working on my data. There's a lot of windmill stuff in this episode that I'll explain a little bit of, but without any further ado, take it away, Player Noah, who I think is wearing this shirt. Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to the stream. Welcome back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back conversational Let's Play done from the deep, dark void, where we try to solve the underlying mystery of The Witness. It's very interesting. The episode I'm currently editing for YouTube is this spot as well. So it's funny that I'm editing where I currently am. I'm currently at 386 plus 83 puzzles solved. And there's ones that I know I haven't done here. So right now we're kind of in the cleanup area or section of the game. Before we go into the mountain, all of the lasers have in fact been activated. So right now I'm kind of cleaning up some... look, there's the laser. It's totally activated. Look how activated everything is. It's so pretty. So right now we're just kind of doing some cleanup where we're getting some environmental puzzles. And some environmental puzzles I know I haven't gotten are these. These are a pain in the tuchus. I got this one because it's easy. But I can't get this one because it's in the way. So I feel like there's actually a way I can do this where I think if I stand here I'm actually okay. I can get this one. Yeah. Did I already get that one? I had already gotten that one. Okay. So the problem now becomes this one, and this second one. I think I actually have to go down there and redraw them, because I don't think I can do this. Unless there's another perspective I can do this from. So I want to run down there and look. Maybe from, like, up on these steps I'll be able to do it. I don't know. This one has the huge issue of this big-ass pile of crap. So I'm not sure if there's another way I can do this puzzle that makes this work. And then, of course, that one goes under the bridge. So if it goes under the bridge, you're kind of SOL. So we're going to go down and we're going to try to redo these puzzles in a way that I will be able to solve them from up here in an environmental aspect. So that's what we're up to. At some point I'll probably go restart the windmill and spin that around and see if that gets us anywhere. So let's start here because we're right here. So basically, I want to find a way to solve this puzzle without ever going underneath. And to do that, I have to do that while standing over here. Because this is the thing that's going to start it. I can't get back. I mean, I could run all the way around. Alright, so I want to change this line so it's not like this. It still has to make that L shape. But I don't want it to go underneath either of these two things. So it kind of has to go, well, is that doable? Is that doable? Because where is the shape? Because I have to encompass this shape in the L. So that shape is this thing. So how the hell do I do this without going underneath here? I sure don't know. Ooh, I don't know how this is possible. So where would that be located? Just so I can kind of like think of where it is on. So it's right here. So I'd have to perhaps make this line end here? How could I do that? I could, I think I see it. If the L was here, it would kind of work, but it doesn't. And then it doesn't end in the right spot, is the problem. So maybe I can make it go down like this. And if it went down like this, it'd be here. That L doesn't make any sense. Ooh, how am I gonna do this? Let's just see if I can find another way to make this like really work. Like, because technically I could. So I'm starting here, right? So, right. I could do that. That could work. Does that work? 1, 2. Oh no, because I run into it. Well, can I break the rules? I mean, I'm just going to continue to try. Can I do this? Is this going to look sort of right? Yeah, all right, that's an okay. So the answer to that is no. All right, let's restart this. I'm just going to stand it on. All right, so just so I can look at this. I can't. I could. That's what I did last time, right? I'm trying to figure out at least one other way I can do this. I'd run into it if I did that. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. This is the obvious way, which will cause problems up there. Rotate it like this. That's nothing. Is that something? I don't know what will happen on the other end of this. Let's try it. I think I already screwed it up. I think I screwed up my idea. Yeah, because I want to run into it in the middle. Yeah, this isn't going to work. What if I do this? Did that work? Ooh. Ooh, I think I accidentally made a swastika. That is not what I wanted to do. Yeah, let's get that off. That is not what I wanted. I don't quite get another way that this works besides what I did last time, which is this. Wait, no. Yeah, this doesn't even work, what I'm doing now. This would have worked, but I walked the wrong way. I was just being dumb. Alright. Fix this. Now this is done, but I still can't do the environmental because it's up there. I'm just trying to, I thought maybe if I could see just the shape, I could like mentally rotate it in my brain. And I just can't. I can't see another way that this works. I just don't see it. Grrr. Alright. I think I remembered a missing audio thing. Also, don't walk this way enough. Because this is the thing that bothers me, is that I can never access this area, and there's clearly all this stuff going on. Just jumping in real quick, this area underneath the keep has always bothered me because there are statues down there and there's a lot of interesting tableaus down in the underneath part of the keep, but you are not able to access them. You are kept out, if you will. I find this very interesting and upsetting because, one, I find this whole area to be fascinating and I'd love to get a closer look at all these things. Boundary break episode of The Witness, when? Also, the blockade here seems very interesting because it creates this feeling like there was some sort of cave-in, like something was here and it fell apart and blocked this. However, it doesn't appear like there's anything that looks destroyed in that exact area that would cause a cave-in that looks like this. I think there's a good chance that somebody is actually blockading this, that this was manually put there, because I don't see, because it's on both sides, the ways to access this underneath part. On both sides, in both doorways, they're blocked by giant boulders, but you would think boulders of this size, there should be something that would clearly denote what fell apart. And I think that part's missing. So I'm going to throw this over to you. What do you think caused this blockade? Did this naturally form when something fell apart? Or do you think this was purposely placed there to keep us out of this area?
So much stuff going on. Can you guys hear the rain? It is storming here. So I believe I missed an audio clip way back in the castle, or what is that area called? The keep. This is all done. Yeah, so I am at the point in the game that if you see a environmental puzzle or something, just shout it out. Because let's take a look here. Yeah, so like according to this, because as I say all the time here, this lake is a map. This implies, which laser is that? Because if that is the furthest, so that would be probably that laser right there. Then this laser is probably the desert laser. So there's something over that way, because the closed flowers means it's a audio clip that has not been found. So, trying to look at this as a map. There's this laser, and there's an audio clip directly this way? So by these trees, maybe? No, I'm being dumb. Hold on. I can prove this. I can do better. I can be a better person. The water represents land, and the land represents water in this map. So, this laser is probably actually the desert laser. This laser here is probably this laser here. Because I can absolutely find my place by using this, which represents the obelisk. So that's probably the one that's out on the island over there. So it's way to the left on the island. So over here, like that would be like the boathouse is here. Alright, yeah. And then the fact that this is here, that's the one that I think I left by the very beginning of the game. So I'm going to go do that one as well.
So what I think's happening here with the windmill, which I'm going to spend a lot of time kind of playing with, it could be many things, but after looking at this, this is my guess. I think it is the lighting effect loading later than the object. When the player character looks at that area, the game knows the windmill's supposed to be there, so it loads in the windmill. But the lighting effect is less important than the object, so the lighting effect takes a moment to load after the object. So the lighting effect that's trying to load is actually darkness, basically, that you can't see inside this area because it's not lit as well. So you look at the windmill, you can see inside, and then it loads the lighting effect and it becomes darker. I think that's what's going on, but I'm going to play with it for a while in the next couple minutes of this Let's Play, so let me know what you think is happening.
What's appearing in front of the door? What's happening? What is that? What was that? What the hell is going on there? Is that just a lighting thing? I've never seen the windmill do that. But I can clearly see inside of it right now. And then if I get too close, something weird happens. That's the strangest thing I've ever seen. That's got to just be a glitch. Turn the windmill on. See if we can get another satisfying click out of spinning it for a bit. Let's see. Run through the pink meadow. Because right here, there's an obelisk right here. Right. This tells me that there's still this weird Pac-Man thing I haven't done. This one's almost done. There's like 4 left I gotta do. So I gotta find the rest of those. But it implies that there is an audio clip somewhere like down there. So let's go see if we can find this audio clip. Because I know there's an audio clip here that we found already. But like this one kind of implies that it's over here. Might actually be in the boathouse, but koi! Have we looked at the koi fish yet? Yeah. There's koi fish down here. Possibly even an axolotl. But there are reflections of the tree roots that are up here. I don't think I've ever actually taken the time to like really get a good shot of the koi fish. And then there's one here that's just shadow. Yeah, it makes like 3 little koi fish. Respective puzzles. How do I get down there? I've gotten lost on this tiny little island so many times. Just looking around. Oh god, this game and the sound effects of the footsteps. Because it looked like, according to the map, there's the laser. It should be like right here. Just looking around. Gotten this one right. Yeah. I feel like it should be like right here, but I do not see one. Over here, maybe? Oh, whoa. Right here, maybe? Hello? The map says there was one right about here. This looks exactly where it should be. Doubt that it's like in the water. Hidden in the trees, maybe? No, that was just a shadow. And through the trees. I guess I'll make a quick run of the boathouse. See if that's where it is. Disappointing. I think I gotta start using a guide. I'm gonna officially use a guide next time I play. Because I think we're just at that point where, like, do you really want to watch me suffer through these last couple? puzzles. Looking blue. Weird vases. Is it like right here? What? No. Thought I saw something. No. What are these? What are these? Is this like a Venice stick for piloting a boat? Cooler. Get some brewskis out of this.
So I say Venice sticks here, and I apologize for using that phrase. What I'm trying to say, I don't know why these words never came to me, is gondola. Like the stick that you would use to push a gondola in the streets of Venice. I was just trying to come up with an idea of what these things are. They seem to be like pointers. Like I would use these to point out important things on like a map. But it does seem like they're very strange things to be located in what we're calling the boathouse. The other idea is, I also say in a moment that I don't know what the thing behind me is. And I believe it's a kiln. Because I think that is the device that was used to make the vases at the beginning. It's like something that heats clay. And that's why those panels on the outside are melted. It's not that the sun hit them, it's that they're on this very, very hot oven. And perhaps those were something used to put into the kiln to, heat something and then remove it safely. Perhaps like glass blowing. There's a lot of glass in the boathouse, and the panels are clear. And it could be that this is where the glass is formed for those panels. It's being heated in. You know what? That's exactly what I think it is. Because that would also explain why the sand is there. Because when you heat sand, it becomes glass. So I think this whole area is about making glass. I went off notes there because I had an in real time aha moment. Isn't that fun?
Don't know what this is. I've always thought that was like a chimney, but I don't know what for. Boathouse is a very odd little area. I thought I heard a weird noise. For the uninitiated. Can I do it again? Each one of these pots represents one of the possible solutions for this puzzle. Yeah, did that raise up? Do they all raise up when you choose it? Am I just dumb and I never noticed that? It does. Huh. Interesting. Huh. Ah, wait a minute. I hate that it happens when you're not looking, too. Like, that bothers me. Oh, I bet... Because this is the same color as that. This is somehow an environmental puzzle. Maybe I gotta look at it from the roof. From the rough. I gotta go around, right? Yeah. Look at that. was a good one. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, progress made.
So I want to just talk about the vases real quick because there's a lot of theories about the vases that I don't really buy into. A lot of people think that the vases are binary. Like a thick area would be a 1 and a thin area would be a 0, which means each vase has 3 digits. So the real skinny one, that's the yellow one, that would be 0, 0, 0. The real fat one would be a 1, 1, 1, and then if it was fat, skinny, fat, it would be 1, 0, 1. People have tried to take these and get some sort of message out of them. There's not... Using all of them to kind of get a message is a bit confusing. Like, just taking the vases that are there and using all of them to create a message doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of binary. Because the total number of vases is 8, so that is the perfect number for this, because you would get 3 lines of binary this way, because binary works in sets of 8. But I think just looking at the vases and taking a message might be the incorrect way to go about this. I would like to propose a type of keypad solution to this, since when you put in the different vase coordinates, I guess we could call it, in that one panel, which I did to make this yellow one rise, it rises. That's kind of the point. So there's a way to kind of think of it of inputting each one and making it rise up would be kind of like be inputting these numbers. So if they're binary, which I still think is a stretch, I don't think there's anything really telling us, hey, this is binary, other than people thinking with their not prawn brains and kind of just saying, oh, well, fat's thin, maybe it's 1s and 0s. It could also be dashes and dots, really. It could be any type of code that's binary, that's one or the other thing. In any case, the point I'm trying to make here is I don't think just taking the vases as a whole and trying to make a code makes sense. I think using the idea of this being a code and the panel as kind of a keypad to enter a code could make sense. This is another thing that I'm considering putting energy into and trying to make a message or something like that. I don't know what the code would be. Perhaps 666. Perhaps there's something in the game that I would find later. Maybe the word windmill, maybe the flowers, maybe symmetry, that I could input here as a code, but I don't have what the input would be. If that's the method, I don't know what the answer is. So I'm going to hit this to you. I think this could be nothing, but if you have any thoughts on this, I will investigate it further.
Which was not an entire waste of time. I have, in fact, found a puzzle. Now, if I remember correctly, I come up here, I think. There's an audio clip like up here, I think, from forever ago that I forgot. It's like up here. There it is. I actually kind of see it. This guy. Let's get some philosophy, gang.
I am standing on the threshold about to enter a room. It is a complicated business. In the first place, I must shove against an atmosphere pressing with a force of 14 pounds on every square inch of my body.
Gravity.
I must make sure of landing on a plank, traveling at 20 miles a second around the sun. A fraction of a second too early or too late, the plank would be miles away. I must do this whilst hanging from a round planet head outward into space and with a wind of ether blowing at no one knows how many miles a second through every interstice of my body. The plank has no solidity of substance. To step on it is like stepping on a swarm of flies. Shall I not slip through? No. If I make the venture, one of the flies hits me and gives me a boost up again. I fall again and am knocked upwards by another fly, and so on. I may hope that the net result will be that I remain about steady, but if, unfortunately, I should slip through the floor or be boosted too violently up to the ceiling, the occurrence would be not a violation of the laws of nature, but a rare coincidence. These are some of the minor difficulties. I ought really to look at the problem four-dimensionally as concerning the intersection of my world line with that of the plank. Then again, it is necessary to determine in which direction the entropy of the world is increasing in order to make sure that my passage of the threshold is an entrance, not an exit. Verily, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a scientific man to pass through a door. And whether the door be barn door or church door, it might be wiser that he should consent to be an ordinary man and walk in, rather than wait till all the difficulties involved in a really scientific ingress are resolved. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
Okay, so he's talking about the overcomplication created by science, basically. The idea of taking a step that if you look at it scientifically and all the scientific events that are happening while you're doing that, it's very complicated. I'm just going to walk around while I philosophize. It's basically like, it's talking about how taking a step into a building occurs while you are speeding through space on Earth, being enacted upon by gravity. The wind is breath. The flies that may push against it. He's talking about atoms. Like, the floor is nothing but a series of atoms, and, you know, most scientists will always tell you, like, yeah, most stuff is just empty space, because atoms are so small and there's just so much space in between them. And basically implying that you are taking for granted that when you step through a door, that the floor is going to be there and not be a thing that you fall through. Because, like, technically speaking, since all the atoms in your body and all the atoms in the floor are vibrating at all times, and there's so much empty space, you could feasibly just fall through, but you don't. But if you did, it wouldn't be an impossible thing that happened. It will have been a strange coincidence. So it would be surprising, but not a miracle. There would be a scientific reason to explain exactly why that happened. I already got this one, right? Yeah, it's not glowing. He then makes an allusion to the Bible, that it is easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than it is for a scientific man to walk through a door. Basically, that comes from the Bible. There's a Bible quote: "It is easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven." I think the purpose of that is basically saying, like, if we overanalyze things and don't just take things for what they are, we end up doing a disservice to ourselves and miss just, like, the very obvious points that are going on. I am going to take that advice now, actually, and maybe instead of spending so much time overanalyzing things, maybe it's time we go to the mountain.
Give it up to Player Noah. Player Noah pretty much nails everything. Like, I don't have a lot to add to this. Arthur Stanley Eddington is an astronomer. He is credited for coming up with the hypothesis that lead to the atomic bomb. He kind of has some ideas that lead to, fission, and eventually leads to the creation of the atomic bomb. I bring that up because one of the things that makes him he's famous for, and two, that ties into Braid. because Braid is all about the atomic bomb. Spoilers for Braid. So since that's a common theme in the work of Jonathan Blow, I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing I think we have to mention is we have pitched the theory many, many times that the location of the audio clips is pretty much what's most important. It's not so much what is being said, but putting it into the context of the area that you find them. And the fact that this is found on top of the gateway to the rest of the game is very interesting. You could read this as a motorcycle goes by. I hope you guys can't hear that. But I'm running out of time. I have to keep doing this. So the idea that this is on top of the gate that leads to the world could lead you to interpret this as don't spend too much time trying to dissect everything and just take it for what it is. Like, you could come across the puzzle and be like, oh, this means, all the black dots, for example. Oh, black dots mean you have to go across them, and that solves the puzzle. You could then go a deeper layer and be like, well, is this saying about walking a particular path and certain understanding that leads to an ultimate answer to what this game means? Maybe shy away from doing that, which is, my whole show here. But I think true veterans of the Witness also know that going further and really diving in and trying to learn everything you can has a very big, deeper meaning, especially at this doorway. We'll get there, I promise. And that's going to do it for this episode of Solving the Witness. Here are your takeaways. The keep, what's the deal with the caved-in areas that are underneath the walk-around puzzles? What are your thoughts there? The windmill and the weird lighting effect, I think I explained what that is, but perhaps you have another idea. Let me know in the comments down below. What are those little pokey things? I think it is for creating glass and glass blowing in the kiln that's in the boathouse. That's a thing that gets really hot that's on wood and a dock, which I think is kind of foolish. But what are your thoughts? Are they something else? Are they gondola paddles, like Player Noah says? Let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the vases and the idea that it's a kind of a keypad puzzle that you're entering in the vases to create some sort of message, perhaps with binary, perhaps with Morse code, perhaps with something else? What's your theory on the vases? I want to hear that down below. And then Arthur, he was an author though. Arthur Eddington, what are your thoughts on him and the location of that sound clip? That's going to do it for this episode of Solving the Witness. I realized I was in front of a green screen and I started using it. Isn't that fun? You can give me thoughts on that as well. But what I really want you to do is to subscribe right here to +2 Comedy Gaming so you'll get a notification next time we try to solve the Witness.